We're often told that wars are won with rifles and tanks, on muddy battlefields and bloody beaches. We picture the chaos of combat, the roar of engines, the sheer brutal arithmetic of steel meeting flesh. But the greatest, most terrible war in human history wasn't just won in the dirt. It was won in the shadows. It was won in smoke-filled rooms, in the blinding heat of distant factories, and in the labyrinthine corridors of the human mind. Imagine the spring of 1940. The German war machine has devoured Europe. Britain stands alone, an island fortress besieged by U-boat wolf packs, and a sky black with the Luftwaffe in Berlin. The German high command believes they are invincible. They possess a weapon they think makes them gods, the Enigma machine. They broadcast their most intimate secrets into the open air, confident their code is an impenetrable fortress. They speak freely, believing the world is deaf. But across the channel, hidden in the dreary English countryside, the world is listening. At a place called Bletchley Park, there are no guns or barbed wire. The soldiers here are mathematicians, chess champions, and linguist-veil men and women in freezing wooden huts, staring at endless strings of random letters. They are fighting a war not of territory, but of logic. Here, they hunt for a weakness in the armor of the enemy's mind. Listen to the clatter of the bomb machines, the massive electromechanical brains designed by Alan Turing. Hour after hour, they spin with a terrifying intensity, a mechanical heartbeat trying to find the pulse of the German war machine. And then, a breakthrough. A string of gibberish suddenly resolves into clear German. Weather report, convoy sighted, attack at dawn. To hold this knowledge is a terrible burden. The code breakers at Bletchley are now reading the enemy's mind. But this power comes with an agonizing price. If you know a U-boat wolfpack is waiting for a convoy carrying food and ammunition, your instinct is to warn them. But if you move too many ships, if you save too many lives, the enemy will realize that code is broken. The curtain will fall, and the war will be lost. So, the hardest decisions are made in silence. Men in cramped offices must choose who lives and who drowns in the freezing Atlantic. They must watch markers on the map move toward the slaughter, knowing they could have spoken, but chose to remain silent to protect the secret. This is the hidden cost of victory, the soul-crushing sacrifice of letting men die today so that nations might live tomorrow. While the codebreakers dissect the enemy's mind, another phantom war is being waged, a war of mirrors and smoke. The Allies know that to defeat a superior force, you must first blind them and then make them hallucinate. The operation is called Bodyguard. The goal, to convince Hitler that the D-Day invasion will happen anywhere but Normandy. To do this, the Allies construct a ghost army, the First United States Army, or FUSAG. It has a commander, the fearsome General Patton, whom the Germans both respected and feared. It has divisions, regiments, and constant radio traffic, but it doesn't actually exist. In the fields of southeast England, inflatable rubber tanks sway in the breeze. Landing craft made of canvas and plywood are massed in estuaries. A handful of radio operators create the illusion of a massive army preparing to strike in a pad Gakale, the narrowest point of the channel. The deception is so complete that even after the bloody landings on Omaha Beach, Hitler holds back his best panzer divisions, waiting for Patton's phantom army to make the real attack. The world's greatest armored force is paralyzed not by guns, but by a lie whispered into the ether months before. Yet, intelligence and deception are only the nervous system of a victory. The muscle, the unstoppable force that will crush the Axis, is being forged an ocean away. Look to the United States. Before a single American soldier sets foot in Europe, the war is already mathematically decided in the roaring factories of Detroit and the massive shipyards of California. This isn't just industrial mobilization. It's a tectonic shift in human history. They walk through the Willow Run bomber plant. The air smells of hot oil and sweat. The floor is filled with women whose hands are shaping the skin of B-24 Liberator bombers. Before the war, this factory didn't exist. Now it produces a four-engine-heavy bomber every 63 minutes. One bomber an hour. In the shipyards of Richmond, the night sky glows with welding torches, building Liberty ships. The German U-boats sink them by the dozens, but it doesn't matter. The arithmetic of American industry is cruel and victorious. The Germans cannot build torpedoes as fast as the Americans can build ships. An entire 10,000-ton vessel is assembled in an average of just 42 days. By the time Allied armies finally clash with the Wehrmacht, the German soldier is fighting with a starving rival, looking up at a sky darkened by 10,000 Allied planes facing a mechanized wave that stretches back across an ocean. This is how the war was truly won. The victory was a mosaic of invisible triumphs. It was won by the exhausted linguist in a cold hut, by the radio operator faking signals of a fictitious army, and by the mother of three welding the hull of a Sherman tank in the dead of night. They fired no shots and wore no medals. Yet, they constructed the vast, inescapable architecture of defeat that eventually crushed the Axis powers. When the guns finally fell silent, the men and women of the Shadow War packed up their secrets and returned to their quiet lives, bound to never speak of what they had done. They had moved the world from darkness into light, entirely unseen, proving that the loudest victories are often secured in the deepest silence. Thanks for watching. If you found this story as fascinating as I do, hit that like button and subscribe for more hidden histories.